Nik,
So
Nik, I want
you
to
have
ask
to
you a
factor it.
question. I want to
Yeah.
ask you a question. It's a very important question. Why does money not fulfill us? How much is enough? Why does money not fulfill us? And why do some things just fulfill you so much out of the proportion that you didn't even expect? I could right now be playing in a high stakes poker game, making so much money, but I'm sitting here talking to you, recording this podcast that is costing me money, and it's not going to make me any money. Why? What is happening? Why does this happen? Can you tell me this? I'm exploring, but I'd like to hear your take on this.
I mean, I guess if you take the brain as an iceberg, right, which you can see the bit at the top, but there's a huge amount of your subconscious mind underneath. I guess you being you and me knowing you, and maybe the people that listen to this, they don't know you as well as I do, but they get a sense of who you are. But it's quite obvious that you're some guy that is, you want to learn, you want to expand, you want to grow, right? You want to evolve. You know, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I think the one at the top is self-actualization. You know, shelter at the bottom and food. You know, we have some basic human requirements as food and shelter, and as we go up, we want to learn, we want to self-actualize, and I guess why do you do this podcast and not be in a game to increase your money is because your subconscious brain is going, actually, I have enough. So, you know, if you wanted to go and buy a nice pair of shoes or, you know, go on holiday or a nice shirt, you can get all of those things. You've worked really hard, and, you know, maybe now your subconscious brain is knocking to you saying, but there's more to life than this. There's more to life than, you know, how many watches can you buy? How many pairs of Gucci loafers can you buy? How many, you know, it gives you a nice buzz for a day or two or a week.
Bought three. I bought three expensive watches, and I'm done, I think.
Yeah,
I know that's not it. That the watch is not it.
Yeah, because, you know, I guess why you're doing the podcast is because, you know, you're trying to ask very complex questions and have a view of people that, you know, have been, you know, we've been in the same world. We know each other. We have a lot of mutual friends. And I guess, like, I'm the London equivalent of you. You're the Dubai equivalent of me in some respects. And you're kind of interested on my journey and what I've learned. And I guess the answer is that, you know, you want to learn, you want to grow, you want to develop. Because I read an article the other day, you know, when people, it's called what was it called? 5 Secrets of the Dying, where a nurse that lived in a care home where people were in their last 3 months of life, they had cancer or whatever, palliative care. She did lots and lots of interviews with these people, and 5 regrets of the dying. And it was things that these people, you know, they're at the end of their life. They know they're at the end of their life, right? And you ask them, you know, what do you regret? What would you have done? What would you tell your 30-year-old self now you're 90 or 80 and you're just about to die? Like, if you could go back in the time machine and sit in front of your 30-year-old self, what would you tell them? And a lot of them were very simple things like, you know, they regret not spending enough time with family and friends. You know, they worked too hard, and as a consequence of working too hard, they neglected their family and friends. I can't remember what all 5 are. I mean, I literally, this is like a little mini Bible to me. I really love this article, and I did read it the other day. But do you want me to pull it up?
Sure. Go ahead if you want. And I've heard someone wrote a book about this, actually.
Yeah, so it is part of a book. Yeah, I mean,
I've heard of this.
Yeah, it's something to do with 5 regrets of the dying. The article that I read was just in the Guardian a few years ago. But of course, it's very interesting. And then there's TED Talks about, you know, the success for living over 100 and long life. And as you'll find that, you know, stopping smoking, stopping drinking are 3 and 4, and, you know, doing exercise is 8, and you know, having a flu jab is 5, and all of these things that go into long life. But, you know, what is 1 and 2? And 1 and 2 is the human need to have relationships. You know, do you speak to the coffee guy when he makes you a coffee? You know, playing poker, funnily enough, was something that was like right up there, 1 or 2. It's like social interaction, not feeling loneliness. Loneliness is a very terrible thing, and being around people and having connections. And so I guess me and you will be fine, right? You know, we're interacting, we're networking, we're keen to learn. You know, I've learned a lot from Sam. Sam's 10 years younger than me, but he's got a lot of things. Sam Tricky, he's got a lot of things figured out. You know, he's just smart. Some people, He did. I did have a regret with him the other day. I said, I'm 47. I haven't done this. I haven't done that. And he goes, just take a deep breath and think about it, right? Yeah, you have been a bit of a late bloomer. You are a bit annoyed at yourself that you've got to 47 and only just started to figure these couple of things out. And maybe you're a bit annoyed and jealous at me that I figured them out at 34. We were laughing and joking, like in a brotherly way about it. And he goes, but you know what? Don't be too hard on yourself, because some people go their whole life not figuring this stuff out. And it comes down to this. Me and him reckon that all anyone ever wants is just to be happy. So your whole life is geared towards, and there's a lot of things that people confuse happiness with, and one of those is money. People think, well, if they get money and then they can buy a nice car like a Rolls Royce, or they think they can buy a nice Rolex or whatever, it's going to make them happy. Not necessarily. It's a trick. You're living in like a matrix game. You're living in a computer game. You're living in some and a lot of people, and caring what other people think, you get into a rat race. I'm sure, Shakti, when you were a lot younger, maybe your bankroll was small and you bought your first expensive watch, I bet you were walking into the game like subconsciously hoping that people would give you a compliment on the watch. And where did you get
Nobody
it?
Cares.
Nobody
cares.
Well, you should.
I thought the rich guys. I thought the rich guys would get impressed, and I realized that they cared the least. They've played that game and they cared the least. And I didn't want to impress my friends. I wanted to impress the rich guys, with the watches, and they don't care about the watches. They bought the watches. They're over the watches.